They have rows and rows of annuals. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. So they've started getting the Endless Summer hydrangeas. They have Bloomstruck and the original. So the Bloomstruck looks to have more of a purple hue, and the original is supposed to be the traditional blue. But of course this will depend on the acidity of your soil. And so these are 3-gallon containers and they're $37.98. And here is a size chart. These get 3 to 5 tall and wide. These are what they call the macrophylla type hydrangeas, which means that they bloom on old wood. So, you know, you have to be cautious of when to prune these so that you don't risk lopping off this year's blooms when pruning. This one's a beauty, Summer Crush. This one looks like it stays more compact at 18 to 36 inches tall and wide. And look at the color on these bloom heads already. Beautiful. Yeah, these all look to be Summer Crush. The Blushing Bride. This one is in that 3 to 6 tall and wide. These are all 3-gallon containers and they're $37.98. And the Blushing Bride is a white bloom. They also have the smaller size, and let's check out the price on these. The smaller container is 1 gallon and it's $21.98 here in my zone 6B in Massachusetts. Lots of bleeding hearts or dicentra. These are $8.98 this year, and they're 1 gallon size. They look really healthy though. It seems like this store is doing a good job keeping things watered. Lots of hanging baskets. This is the osteoporum, or the also African daisies, and they also have bacopa. And these are $22.98. Bacopa has a nice trailing habit. They have some calibrachoa baskets as well. These are pretty, like a fuchsia color. The lobelia. They have such pretty blue color, the lobelia, but it peters out pretty fast for me in terms of annual. So I think maybe if you keep it in the shade, it does a little bit better. It's a part sun. They have some different Proven Winners perennials since the last time I was here. These are the Amazing Daisy, Daisy May. It's a full sun daisy. And let's see the size on these. 12 to 24 inch height, and they're hardy in zones 5 through 9, and they bloom early summer to late summer. They have really large blooms, which is pretty. Really nice. I don't have these in my garden. I have just a traditional garden daisy that, you know, someone split along the way and gave me a division. They usually bloom in July. And if I deadhead it, I get some more blooms out of it. But this Daisy May is pretty. They also have some Proven Winners Decadence, Lemon Meringue, Baptisia, or False Indigo. They're still tightly budded, but they are a yellow color with some purple edging. They're also perennial, full sun to part sun, and they get 36 inches tall. These are $12.98, where the daisies were $15.98. Definitely price hike on plants this year. I actually bought a couple of these a couple of weeks ago. They're in my at-home nursery waiting to be planted. These are the Heaven Sent Jacob's Ladder, and they're $15.98. They're a full sun perennial, and these are a medium height at 18 to 24 inches. They're hardy in zones 3 to 7, and they bloom in late spring. The blooms are actually really pretty. They're like these little purple blooms, and what I like is the dark foliage. Almost fern-like. Winners, Dolce Cherry Truffles. Really pretty heuchera. It's a perennial, sun and shade. I do think that they like mostly like a part sun situation, because too much sun, I think that they crisp up. At least they do in my garden, and I'm in zone 6B. So these are 8 to 10 inches. They're hardy in zones 4 to 9, and then they bloom in early or midsummer. And they usually, what they mean by blooms is some of these are already sending out bloom stalks, because these things are greenhouse grown, and this is what they are. Some people like them, other people don't, and they lop them off, but those are the blooms on heuchera. They're just these little spikes with these tiny little flowers at the end. They also have this one, which I actually like this one a lot in terms of the color. I had one, but it got eaten by deer. These are not deer resistant, at least in my experience. This is the Primo Black Pearl. It's a really dark heuchera, and this one's $12.98. Also says sun and shade, and 8 to 10 inches in size. They also have the Dolce Apple Twist. This one says that it's part shade. There's no mention of sun on this one, and that's because they're so light colored that they will crisp up in the sun. They'll look like this. So you want to definitely plant these in shade. But what's great about them is look how beautiful this chartreuse color is. It'll offer nice brightness in shade. And look at it next to the dark foliage. So pretty. Lots of Proven Winners containers. These are 2.5 gallon Proven Winners planters, and they're $34.98. Lots of pretty colors. Look at that. That definitely screams tropical. Beautiful. So this container is called Sunglasses, and that is the combination, or what they like to call the recipe, of plants that they put in the container. Candyland, and it's orange and pink and yellow. I mean, really, really pretty. And the Supertunias. This color is beautiful. This is the Supertunia Picasso in purple, and I actually love these. I love that it has that green on the outside and the pink throat. Really pretty. These are $5.98, and this is their, I don't know if this is a 4-inch container. I believe it is what they consider the 4-inch container. These are adorable. For some reason, I want to call them lemonade. They're the very tiny super bells, the Calabrochia. I can never pronounce that. Calabrochia. These grow 6 to 12 inches, and this is called Lemon Slice. Yeah, that's probably where I get the lemonade name from, but they're really adorable. And they have these pretty ones. Super Bells Tropical Sunrise. Laguna Sky Blue Lobelia. They're $5.98 also. I believe all the annual containers in this size pot are $5.98. There's some Bacopa. Nice trailer for your baskets or your arrangements. These little white, sweet little white flowers. They have a lot of pretty hostas coming in. I've stayed away from hostas for a long time because they become deer salad in my garden, but they're actually really beautiful, and like just in foliage you can get such a beautiful combination of plants in a shade garden. Let's see what this one is called. Bedazzled Plantain Lily, and this one's called Hosta Bedazzled. Really pretty. This one already has some bloom stalks. This is another plant that sometimes people cut those off. But they typically have like a light purple color bloom. Some more hosta back there. Let's go check those out. Lots of pretty begonias too. I know a lot of people like to grow begonias. Really sweet. These are $5.98. Now to the untrained eye, these all look very similar, the hostas, but they have different characteristics. This one is called Night Before Christmas. These are $10.98. And it has a green outside with a white in the center. This one's really pretty too. It has more of a yellow hue to it, and this one's called Color Festival. Ooh, that one's slipping on me. Really pretty. But you see they all have a little bit of a different color scheme. Twilight is the name of this one. These are partial sun, so 3 to 6 hours. Color Festival and Twilight, so those are all the same. And then something I noticed a little bit ago that I wanted to remember to circle back to is this beautiful, what is this called again? Yarrow. Yes, yarrow, that's it. I know so many plant names that they start kind of going through my head like a Rolodex and I forget. But this is yarrow. This is a beautiful terracotta color. So that's going to be awesome. I have an apricot tutti frutti in my garden, but I love these in those shades of like orange and terracotta and apricot. This is going to be a beauty. I bet you once these things open up in a couple of weeks and everyone sees these colors, they're going to fly off the shelf here. These are $10.98. So we're moving on from the partial sun to the shade. So these are up to 3 hours of sun per day. And we have the astilbe. So this one is a really pretty, like light pink spike. And it is called Silvery Pink. These are also $10.98. There's also this pretty, well, it looks burgundy, but it's actually looking like it's going to be a like magenta color once it opens up. According to the tag here, it's called Cerise Astilbe. So cerise, kind of like a cherry, so maybe like a cherry red / magenta. Really beautiful. Some Asiatic lilies. Let this serve as your reminder that if yours are starting to peek through the ground, you want to start spraying them with deer and rabbit repellent, because if they bite the top off, you won't get any blooms this year. It's really disappointing. But these are called Tiny Rocket. They have some pretty clematis by Monrovia. This one's called Rutel Clematis. I guess it also has a name of Jackmanji or Jackmanji. Jackmani. Showy blooms, partial sun. Let's look at its growth habit. I really like these tags by Monrovia when they have the picture, because it gives you a visual as what the shape will look like as it grows. So as trained, this will get about 6 feet tall. $16.98 for this. This is just a bit, about 1 gallon. Well, this sweet lily caught my eye. It's really, really pretty. It's like a pink with a yellow center. And this one is called Tiny Diamond Asiatic Lily. And it's a full sun lily. You know, I might have these in my garden, but because they got lopped off by either the bunny or the deer last year, I never saw them, so I can't be sure. But they are really pretty. Look at that. And then look at this lupin spike. Gorgeous. These are called Persian Slipper Lupine. These are $16.98. A little bit bigger container, maybe a 2-gallon. And they need 6 hours of direct sun, semi-moist soil. They get 1 to 3 feet tall by 2 feet wide. It blooms in summer. Even the foliage on these are beautiful. When it rains, they hold on to the little raindrops. They almost look like magnifying glasses, the way that the water beads on the foliage. Look at all those bloom spikes. Honestly, these are worth growing even just for the foliage. It's similar to like Lady's Mantle. A lot of people grow those for the foliage versus the blooms. But, I mean, the lupin blooms are pretty beautiful too. They're spectacular. These huge spikes of purple flowers, I mean, they're pretty amazing. So here's another one. So they have this Persian slipper lupin, and then they have this masterpiece lupin. And let's see what size on this one. Oh, similar. 1 to 3 high, 2 wide, 6 hours of sun. This one just has, it looks like a deeper purple. Like more of a, like a grape colored purple. Maybe with a hint of magenta, where the other one is like a blue purple. Some more astilbe. So on this side, they have this one called Lilac, which I would think lilac is more purple, but it's actually, it's definitely a pink. Here are some Monrovia coral bells. Coral bells and heuchera are the same. These are called Blackout. They don't look very black, they look red. These are $13.98. But in a shade garden, look at this. The coral bells or the heuchera in different shades of red with all of those pretty colors of the hosta. And then add in that astilbe in the back for some height and some flower plumes. Look at this right here, shade garden. Beautiful. There's some more hosta. This one's called, let's try to say that there, Aero marginata. Aero marginata. I love this one. It almost has like this, almost like a limey green edge. And these are more of the same type. And some more of that Night Before Christmas. I love how big these leaves are. Look at that. Beautiful. This one's called Forbidden Fruit. They have these golden sphere coreopsis, which I thought that they were marigolds. Really fluffy. These are $10.98. This hosta is really pretty. It's called Francis Williams hosta. It's another one that has the dark green center with the brighter green edging. They have this pretty dianthus, which is a perennial. It's called Barberini mixed dianthus, and they have a few different combinations. So this one is a white outline with a purple center. This one is a hot pink. These are $8.98. And then they also have this one here, which is almost like a maroon in the center with like pink around the edge. Really pretty. I've never seen this perennial before. It's called Montana Sandwort. And I thought it was a phlox from far away, and then it kind of almost looks like a bacopa up close. But the blooms are really, really sweet. I love these spike type perennials. This one's a Veronica, also known as Speedwell, and this one's called Royal Candles. And 12 to 24 inches high by 12 wide. Really pretty. They turn a really nice shade of like a blue purple. Here's another cool coreopsis. This one's called Jethro Tull, and it has this like roughly curled petal. Looks like a tube almost. Bet you the hummingbirds like that. Mounding perennial, and they get 15 to 18 high by 18 to 24 wide. Some sea thrift. These are pretty. They almost look like mini alliums. These tiny little circular blooms on these spindly stems, and it's also known as Armeria. So Armeria is the genus, and the variety is called Splendens. You know, the street name is Sea Thrift. But it's really pretty, and these are a hardy perennial. They can take a lot of conditions, dry conditions. Really nice. Some catchfly. And just a couple of foxglove. They don't have many, so maybe they'll be replenishing because this table's a little empty. But foxglove are beautiful. They are toxic, so no eating these. Careful if you have children or pets in the garden. There's even a warning on the tag. It's a biennial, so these have blooms this year, but next year they may not come back in your garden because they, you know, these plants establish themselves the first year and then they bloom the second year. So the first year you just get foliage, the second year you get blooms, and then, you know, they might return for you in 2 years, but if not, then, you know, at least you got to enjoy them this year. Let's check out some shrubs. So they have this one called Himalayan Sweet Box. It's $52.98. It's about a 2-gallon container. And does this bloom? It looks like it gets 8 wide by 2 high. It looks like it might be deciduous, meaning it loses its foliage. This looks really interesting. The bloom almost looks like a begonia. It's called Ginger Snap Potentilla. It's $39.98. And these get 3 wide by 3 tall. And there's actually some blooms on these. They feel soft. So I think they're a shrub. I'm actually not familiar with these. First time I'm seeing them. In the picture they looked like a begonia, but in person they almost look like geum. It's a really pretty apricot outside with a yellow center. And the foliage reminds me almost of a candy tuft. This is an eye catcher. Look at this evergreen. I love evergreens. So this is called a Fire Chief Globe Arborvitae. It's $46.98. it's 2 wide by 2 tall. So when it comes to our evergreens, this would be considered a dwarf evergreen because of a slow grow rate and the size being 2 by 2. It needs sun to keep this fiery color. Beautiful. Look at that between the green and the yellow. And let's see what these are. These are Night Light Hinoki Cypress. And this shrub gets to be 5 by 5, and these are $22.98 and a 1 gallon size. These are Monrovia. These are part sun. These yellow ones here, 3 to 6 hours of sun. This is a beautiful rhododendron. It caught my eye for sure. It's called Crete. It's $46.98. It's about a 2 gallon container. Look at these blooms. Let's see how big they get. 4 by 4, so a really good size for a garden, you know, average size shrub for sure. On the smaller side for rhododendron. This is a new to me hydrangea. This one's called Seaside Serenade Hampton's Hydrangea. Looks like it has a pink bloom and 3 wide by 4 high, and this is $46.98. This is currently my favorite grass. This is called Forester's Feather Reed Grass. I have bought the Carl Forester variety, and so not the Monrovia. So they might be slightly different, or maybe just the name is different. But it's a very compact grass. This one's 2 by 2, 2 wide, 2 tall, and then it sends out these bloom stalks, which are, and I'm not entirely sure if they're called bloom stalks or not, but they're kind of like the wheat that comes out of the grass. Those are considered their bloom in that wheat color. And these are great because they, you know, you get this green structure in the summer, and then you get the plumes, I think that's what the name of them are, in the fall. So they carry you from summer through fall. They're Ito peonies, or Ito peonies. I believe the person's name who came up with these or who developed these was called I'll try to look it up, but his name was Ito. And so that's where the name of these come from. So the Ito peony is a cross between a herbaceous peony and a tree peony. So the bonus about these is that they don't need as much staking and they stay more upright, these Ito peonies. And that one's the Bartzella, which is a yellow. These are pretty pricey at $119. And they get to be 3 by 3. I wish I hadn't seen this one because now I just created a very tempting situation for myself. This is one that has been on my wish list for a while. This is called the Cora Louise. It is absolutely stunning. It's $119 though, and it's 3 by 3. I don't know. I just can't. Not for that price, but maybe if it goes on sale, I can justify it. But if it goes on sale, it probably won't be here. But anyway, this one is absolutely beautiful. It's like a blush color with some pink in the center. Yeah, and it's already budded up. Look at this. But this has absolutely no staking. And look how nice and upright these big shrubs are. Should I do it? Should I get one? I don't know. Don't do it, girl. These are a cool yew. These are Hubert's Tawny Gold Spreading Yew. And I've never seen any yew that have had this orangey yellow growth. And this is new growth because it's really soft. So it's spring growth. It's a full sun shrub. And let's see how big they get. So these are $49.98. It's a 2 gallon container and they get 6 wide by 4 tall. And then right next to it, they have the variegated dogwood, red twig dogwood. And these are the, it's between a 3 and a 5 gallon, and they're $74. and they are 6 wide by 8 tall. But the foliage is really pretty on these, very similar to, say, the Ivory Halo, which is also a variegated variety of red twig dogwood. Then they have the yellow twig dogwood that's actually already in bloom. Look at that. And this one is $74 and it gets 9 wide by 8 tall. And the foliage on this one is just green. Jade butterfly ginkgo trees. Ginkgos have really cool foliage. I'll get in closer on it, but it gets 10 wide by 15 tall, and this one's $99. It looks to be 3 to 5 gallon size. And look at these cool leaves. They almost look like little fans. And then most of them get a really pretty gold color in the fall. They have these cone shape winter gem boxwood. And these are winter gem boxwood, and they're $119 because they're shaped like a cone. You pay a little more for the trimming like that. Oh look, they have a Sunbelievable brown-eyed girl sunflower by Monrovia for $14.98, and some spirea. So this one is called Lil Flirt Spirea, $31.99, and it's 3x3, so it's a compact variety. And then they have this pretty green one. It's called Lil Sizzle Spirea, and this one's also 3x3. These are $39.98. They're a 3 gallon size. Some proven winners hydrangeas. This one's called Let's Dance Blue Jangles. It's a fancy name. Reblooming shrub. And this one, oh, this is a tiny one. So if you have a small garden, or you just want small shrubs because you don't want to deal with the big ones, look at that. 1 to 2 feet tall and wide. So cute. How much are these? So this is a 3 gallon. And it's $28.98. They have these Easy Elegance roses. They say they're full fuss proof, so probably like a knockout. These are Rose Little Mischief, and they are $21.98. That one's called High Voltage. It looks like a yellow bloom. Yeah, lots of these Let's Dance Blue Jangles. Very petite dwarf type hydrangeas. So these are like a Macrophylla type, and small. You can tuck one of these basically anywhere in a garden. Really pretty. This one's called Let's Dance Rave. Let's see how big this one is. Look at that little shrub, so cute. This one is 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. Also small. So the Let's Dance Rave is 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, and this Let's Dance Blue Jangles is 1 to 2 tall and wide. They have the Oh So Easy Double Red Rose. These are 2 gallons for $29.98. The Bloomin' Easy has this Pop Rocks Petite Spirea. These are $29.98, and they get 2 to 3 feet tall and wide with these pink blooms. This is where they have all the Bloomin' Easy plants. I actually haven't seen many of these. I haven't seen this brand at Lowe's, actually. Maybe they've had it, I just haven't noticed it. I think I've always assumed that the blue container was the Endless Summer. So it's possible I haven't noticed, but let's see what they have. They have this Weigela. It's called Stunner Weigela. It's got the dark foliage and the pink blooms. It reminds me of my Proven Winners Wine and Roses. This Hydrangea Acadama. Looks like a red. Oh yeah, look. It says Acadama means red ball. It's a heavy bloomer with striking flower color. Blooms open deep red, deep pink, and darkens as they age. Look with contrasting dark foliage. So this one is $26.98, 2-gallon. This is by this Bloomables brand. Lots of roses, and I do love a purple or plum rose. Look at this one. It's called Plum Perfect by Plum Perfect Sunbelt. This is also by Bloomables. And it's $24.98 for a 2-gallon. These look nice and healthy, I have to say. You know, no black spot or yellow leaf. So that's a good sign. And these are the type of roses I love, the peachy pink ones. So this one's called Sweet Mademoiselle. These aren't in bloom yet, so I can't show you the flowers, but the shrubs look really healthy. This one's called True Gratitude. It looks like a hot pink. Full sun, 6 feet tall. Ooh, that's pretty tall. 3 to 4 wide. We have this white one. It's called Bolero. And then they have the house brand, the Nico Blue Hydrangea for $19.98, and that's about a 2-gallon container. These are also the mop head or the Microphylla type hydrangea. They still have some trees. This is a really nice shaped pink flowering dogwood. It is $99.98. I know that's upside down, but that's how much it is. Good sized container, 7-gallon it looks like. And looks like it has a pretty good round structure. The Rose of Sharon trees are showing up. These you want to be careful with. They drop a lot of seed and they can become invasive. I know my mom's neighbor has a whole hedge of them, and my mother finds these popping up all over her yard. So if you like them, it might not be a problem for you, but something to consider when you're looking at Rose of Sharon. Some of the newer varieties have been bred to be sterile so that that doesn't happen, so they don't become invasive. But this one doesn't specify, so err on the side of caution. So these are $69.98, and this looks like it's shaped like a tree. Sometimes they're shrubs. A white Kusa dogwood. The foliage looks nice and healthy on this. And this one's $36.98. They still have a lot of these topiary trees. There are different prices on these, but they range from like $159, $169. Yeah, about $150. There's lots of the green giant arborvitaes. This guy is a dwarf Hinoki cypress, $199 for this guy, and there's not much to it. Look. This looks like a bird. Doesn't it look like a bird shape? Do you see one? Do you see a bird? I see a bird. All their tropical annual containers of mandevilla. These are a great option if you're not into petunias. These are excellent because they are self-cleaning. You don't have to do much to them. And if you forget to water for a day, they'll forgive you. Because they're tropical, I think they're used to being a little bit dry. I mean, don't neglect them, obviously, but I think they can certainly go, like, some annuals you have to water the containers every day because they tend to dry out in the summer very quickly. But I find that these, if I don't get to it one day, they'll still be okay the next. This is a really beautiful arrangement. This is that annual hibiscus with the spike in the middle. Really pretty. Let's see how much this is. $29.98. This is one of those drop in your pot and you're ready to go kind of containers. They call them the drop-in blooms. And there's some more back there with some tropical foliage. Here's some more hydrangea by this Bloomin' Easy. These are called Starfield. They have a lot to see here today. Lots. Getting all of their summer inventory. 9 bark. This one's called Panther. Oh, and it's a good size. Look at that. So it looks like it's a compact 9 bark, because these can get fairly large. It's 4 to 5 feet tall by 3 to 4 wide, and these offer really nice dark foliage in the garden. And they have some blooms in the summer. Really nice. Zones 3 to 8. Another hydrangea by Bloomables. This one's called Double Down. It's a pink. It says it's reblooming double flowers. Really pretty. You can pause the screen if you want to read details about some of these. And lots of options for summer containers if you're going for a little bit of a tropical vibe. They have some ferns and some other pretty foliage plants. The hibiscus, the mandevilla. I just spotted this cool azalea. It's called Lemon Lights Azalea. Looks like it's still getting ready to leaf out and bloom. 4 to 5, tall and wide. $29.98. Here's their house brand roses. They have red ones. This one's called Love Rose. All right, we associate love with the red roses. And then this one is called Pink Parfait. Bunch of roses. Here's their Monrovia herbaceous peonies. And this one's called Bowl of Beauty. This one is a beauty. I have one I grew from bare root. It's like a pink with like a cream center. And this one's $49.98. Their clearance racks starting to get pretty stacked. So this is a great place for you guys to check out. Lowe's has an amazing clearance rack. And so some of these perennials just need a little bit of love and they would probably be fine. But use your judgment, kind of look at them, see if, you know, if they're past the point of no return, then maybe pass on them. But otherwise, perennials, you know, they'll come back next year. I think someone stuck these here because these look new and healthy. So those definitely don't look like they're on clearance. But here is the price structure for their clearance plants. If it costs this, then you pay that. Look at this cool azalea. Beautiful pink. It's called Northern Lights. They're house brand peonies. So these are called Happy Salmon, assuming that they're salmon. And then they also have Happy White. But these are 20 bucks. So they're a little less than the national brands. Lots of perennial grasses. Let's go ahead and check those out. These are beautiful in the garden. They offer a lot of texture, a lot of movement. If you're in zone 6, even though this is considered perennial when you're looking in the stores, this purple fountain grass doesn't generally come back for us, but it is beautiful as an annual. It fills up a container so nicely, and it has it starts green like this, but then it gets a beautiful purple color. And you can leave these in your containers through the fall, and they actually look beautiful as a fall accent in your containers as well. These are 2.5 quart, and they're $7.98. This beautiful variegated one is called Variegated Japanese Silver Grass. It's $19.98. Large clumping ornamental grass, silvery plumes in summer. And it likes semi-moist soil, 6 high by 3 wide. If you have ornamental grasses like this and they start getting kind of empty in the middle, you know, where they're growing the spikes all around but not in the center, it could need dividing. So something to think about. I've had grasses for a long time in my garden, and the larger varieties, that's usually what happens. They'll fill out around the edges and then they'll get like a blank spot in the middle, and that is just a clue that it's time to divide. Excellent plant to share with friends, family, gardeners. And this is the one that I get and that I really like, is the Carl Forrester. And this is the house brand with, you know, the generic off version, and it's $19.98. These are really good sized containers. So these are probably 3 gallon. This dianthus is really eye-catching. It's called Oscar Red Star Dianthus. Beautiful color. Look at all these dahlias. This one looks like a little ball of fire. They also have these ready fill containers for $19.98. These are a great option also because if you don't want to put a container together, these are more affordable. They're $20 and you just grab it and you put it in your pot and you're good to go. You just water it. Here's some of the ground covers. This is a really pretty one. This one is called Catlin's Giant Ajuga, and they have these really big, beautiful, dark foliage. And they also send out purple flowers. I just looked it up because I wasn't familiar with it. I thought it was black scallop initially, which is another variety of ajuga. But it's really pretty, and it comes in a 6 pack. You get 6 for $14.98. Japanese spurge, which is another type of ground cover. And then they have some of that stone crop Angelina sedum. I love this stuff. They get really yellow in the sun. These are Proven Winners Ready Fill, and these are $26.98. They're 2.5 gallon. Look at all those beautiful ferns. These big fern hangers are the same price as Home Depot at $21.98. See, that is what they're called, Super Bina. This one's Sparkling Amethyst, and these are $5.98. They're annual 4-inch cans. And then they also have the sweet potato vine. This one's called Sweet Caroline Raven. I don't know which variety, but I bought one a couple of years ago that had little flowers that came out, like little purple flowers. It was a type of sweet potato vine. Let me see this one for the green, and it looks like it's seen better days, but this one is called Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Lime and Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Red. Also have these small containers of geranium for $5.98. And these multi-packs. This one's a 12-pack of Dusty Miller for $13.98. Some petunias and some coleus. Lots of marigolds. And this way, you can arrange your own summer containers. If you pinch your coleus when it's sending up the bloom stalks, they get bushier instead of them getting all leggy. Little tip in case you didn't know. And I couldn't come here without showing you the best, well, in my opinion, my favorite hose nozzle is this Orbit Max multi-pattern nozzle. What I love about this is that it doesn't have like a traditional trigger, like those right there. It has this lever that you just use your thumb to turn on or off, and then you just kind of hold it, so it's less pressure for your hand having to hold your thumb down on the trigger while you're watering. And it has all the settings, but it's $16.98, and if you're looking for a new nozzle, I highly recommend this one. It works really well and I've been enjoying it. I also have this hose and I like it a lot. It's different than the pocket hose, but it's very lightweight and it works really well. I've been enjoying it in my garden. I have 2 of them. They're $64.98. I don't know, if you can't get to the store, if they sell them on Amazon. I can check, and if they do, I'll link it below. But it comes in 2 lengths. It comes in the 50-foot and the 100-foot. I have a 50-foot inside my veggie garden, but I have a 100-foot out in the yard next to the house, the spigot off the house. I really like it. It's called 0G. I'm going to grab some bone meal so I can plant my dahlias this weekend. $7.58 for this kind. This is the Stay Green. They're selling sun hats now. This is really good. Definitely protect your skin when you're out in the sun. These have a 50 SPF.
Do you want to buy the wood or do you want to just...
They're $19.98. We have some with the black rim, with the white rim. The white rim one might get dirty in the garden, so I'd probably stick to the black, but yeah, I've started wearing a hat in the garden. Super helpful. They have some diamond frost euphorbia, although this one doesn't look great. This is a really nice filler in a container also. Lots of plants out in the parking lot. They have lots and lots of annual stuff right now for summer. This year's hanging basket sale is not as good as years past. They've been as low as 2 for $10, 2 for $12. This year they're 2 for $16. Not terrible though. I mean, if you wanted to get some hanging baskets, all things considered, not a bad price. They have pink at the top there. They have a bunch of cordyline and it's $5.98. This is the spike that we see so often used in the containers in the center as their thriller. Or yeah, I think it's the thriller, not the filler. Variegated vinca, $3.58. They also have these really small ready fills. This might be for like an 8-inch pot, and these are $10.98. They also have some sweet potato vine by Monrovia, and these are $4.98. So what did I end up with? I left the Ito peony behind, but I did get this pretty hosta with this big foliage. This one is called Francis Williams, and some bone meal for my dahlias. So thank you so much for coming along. These are always fun for me, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.